It's Big Fat American News. I'm Zach Martin. I figured, hey, I might as well start becoming a news source and telling you the headlines for today. This way you don't have to do it yourself. And what are my sources? All over the internet. Whatever I find, I'll talk about. If something strikes me as, well, I should tell you about this here, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get the news from here, there, and everywhere with some of my great opinions. Opinionations. Make it a little bit more entertaining. And we start off with this story from The Blaze, which I get in my email. I don't know how this happened. Oh, I know how it happened. At one point, I was working for Blaze TV as a newscaster on the radio. And that was a good gig because they were paying me like $35 an hour to sit at home and do 3 minutes an hour. It was fantastic. Anyway, here is a story out of Iowa. Iowa college removes professor who declared, "I'm Antifa." He also reportedly shared shockingly violent Facebook post about killing Christians. Adjunct Professor Jeff Klinsman will no longer be employed at Kirkwood Community College in Cedar Rapids. I'm just laughing. I expected University of Iowa, something like that. It's a community college. Not that there's anything wrong with a community college. In fact, I think that's the best bet, especially if you don't know what you're going to do. Otherwise, you're wasting all of your money on courses that pretty much you can take at a community college. Did I say that right? I don't know. It took me 17 years to finish St. John's. Anyhoodle, according to Campus Reform Report, Klinsman announced last week that he supported the movement, which drew immediate backlash, as well it should. And then there's a photo of this Antifa kid. He's giving you the double finger, and I'm thinking to myself, two middle fingers, same time with the gloves on. His face is covered with a scarf, nice checkered scarf. He's got a black hood on and a black hat, and you can see his eyes. Having some coffee. If he was such a brave man, if he believed in his cause, I guess if he was really a believer, really bought into it, why would he cover his face? Wouldn't he want everybody to know who he is and what he stands for? And I don't know about you, but when I see these pictures, I think to myself, well, I could take him out in one punch, probably a punch. He looks like he's a strong kid. I'm in my mid-50s, and while I'm not as young as I used to be, I do have that dad power. And what dad power is when you become really strong as a result of aggravation, the aggravation of paying tolls. In New York, the tolls, I think, are $10 a day on the George Washington Bridge. I don't know why we still pay tolls at $10 a day. If you don't have the Easy Pass, I think it's up to $15, right? So you get a $5 discount. Maybe less than that. I don't know when the last time I actually checked how much the tolls are. We could do that one morning, and I'll let you know. But just think about that. Let's call it $10 a day, $50 a week. So what is that? That's $200 a month just on tolls. Then there's the parking. I found a cheap place, Pier 40 parking on the west side, and that is around $257. But because I am clergy, which is a totally different story that we won't bring up at this particular time because we're talking news here, I would have to pay taxes on that. I think it's an 18% tax. So taxes are going to kill you. So I get aggravated by the taxes and the tolls. And then in New Jersey, forget about it. Property tax? Oh, my gosh. So you wonder why I'm aggravated all day. So that I could use that aggravation of my dad's superpowers to probably take out a guy from Antifa with one punch easy. Although I probably wouldn't do something like that because, hey, I don't feel like making the schlep and going and putting all the effort in. Maybe when I was in my 20s, maybe I wouldn't be an Antifa guy. I was in ROTC. I'm all about red, white, and blue. See what else is going on. All smiles how Macron tamed the Donald. Trump softens rhetoric on China and Iran. Well, you don't need my opinion on any of that stuff, right? There's no sense in giving you that. Big tech plans social scores, human era ending. Now, this is a real interesting story because I've been paying attention to this for quite some time. And in China, they have these social scores. And it could be to the point where if your social score is low because you're not behaving properly, you can't get a train ticket. You can't get a flight out of town to go visit your relatives. You can't do anything. You get ungats and a shingle. Well, I thought, how long is it going to take before it goes from China to the United States? And it's already here. Let's face it. Let's talk how this works. Big tech plans, social scores, human era ending. And you can find this on the drudgereport.com. That's right. I go to the Drudge Report because it's a great aggregator. And then it's got all the links. And then there's another site I go to for all the cool stuff. And then I'm really into weird news, which one day we'll just talk about weird news and nothing but weird news. Now, China has a social credit score, and now it's coming to the United States. You know, if you talk to somebody in China with a lower credit score, social credit score, it lowers your social credit score. So you can get in trouble because of who your friends are, which goes back to you got to be careful who you hang out with, little Zachy. You know, your friends say a lot about who you are. Yeah. If I was not permitted, or if it was going to cost me a credit score to hang out with people with no credit, I'd have no credit at all myself. Any hoodle. So this big tech plan, I think, is more or less on the corporate side of things. And it's been here, like I was trying to say before I got derailed, talking about something else that's probably not as interesting as what we're talking about here, or maybe not as interesting as what's going on in your world. It's interesting to me. If you post the wrong thing on Facebook or Twitter, you could lose your job quite easily. And there's this idea, well, freedom of speech in the United States, First Amendment, I can, do all that stuff. Well, yeah, up until a point, nothing's unfettered. There's limits to everything. Hey, you can smell as bad as you want, and sooner or later somebody's not going to invite you to the party because you smell. In fact, there was a time in my career where I was basically the head disc jockey of the radio station, because I was the biggest guy. And we had this guy, his name was Peter, and he really smelled. But he didn't know he smelled. And he never took a shower. I don't think he used deodorant. Obviously, didn't use deodorant. So started the other members of the staff were like, whoa, what are we going to do here? This guy really stinks. And everybody was afraid to tell him he smells. So one day, I got elected, and fearless leader. Got all of the disc jockeys in the office, and I went around the room, and each one I had something for them to do, to improve on. I went to one kid, I said, look, no more of this hobbler's thingamabob. I don't even know what that means. Please don't say that on the air. It's stupid. And I said something to another guy and another girl, and then I came to Peter, and I go, Peter, you got to start taking a shower. You stink. I mean, you really do smell. You probably don't realize you smell, but you smell. For your own good, so that you can actually find a girl who will say, yes, I do. You can get married and settle down and have a normal job instead of being in radio. You got to start taking a shower, and you have to start using deodorant. Fast forward 30 years, and we're right back where we started 30 years ago, not with Peter, but millennials in general. They smell. The elevator rides can be the worst 30 seconds of my life with some of these people and how they smell. Don't they realize they smell? Probably not. I'm just saying, look, use deodorant. It's the least you can do for the rest of us. Take a shower on a daily basis and change your underwear. Read something in the news that people will wear underwear for 2 days in a row. That's crazy. What you need is at least 16 pairs of underwear and keep an extra pair at the office just in case an accident happens, which in New York, chances are when you have to go badly, you're not going to find a bathroom. So that's why you need a backup pair. So back to these social scores. You know as well as I do, and you've heard these horror stories where people lose their jobs, stupid tweets where they weren't even thinking. Well, why even go there? I got a better idea. Less time on Facebook, more work. How about that? What am I doing now? I'm actually working. I'm doing this newscast on Big Fat American Radio Network. So there we go. Those are some of the headlines today. We got big tech plans, social scores. What else did we talk about? Oh, yeah, that lunatic who's an Antifa guy who's a professor at some school. He got fired for threatening to kill everybody. I think that that's a smart move. And then if you want to find out what's going on, we have all kinds of news for you that you'll find at ZachMartinRocks.com.